Hello there and welcome to this Astranti strategic analysis video for the management case study exam for the November 2022 and February 2023 exam sitting. Now in this video we're going to conduct a strategic analysis of our pre-scene company Happy Playz so that you have an idea of where Happy Playz currently is and where it is going and crucially how it can get there. Now the whole point of this video is so that you can produce more logical answers in the exam that make strategic sense for our pre-scene company. And so on that note, let's just go back through who our pre-scene company is. So Happy Playz is a toy retail chain in Wisteria with 120 shops and over 6,500 employees. It was founded in 1992 and it is focused heavily on the use of marketing and advertisement to outcompete other players in the toy retail market as well as price competitiveness as well. It is currently the second largest toy retail chain in Wisteria, but of the toy retail market, it is not the largest, or it's not the second largest even in that. That belongs to the other entities like the supermarkets and the online retailers. The company is also quoted and must produce its financial statements in accordance with IFRS. So what we're going to do now, with that in mind, is use something called the rational planning model. We're going to use it to look at where Happy Playz is, what its current circumstances are in its business environment, so where it is now, and then where it needs to be in the future. So we're going to look at things like its business environment, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We're going to be looking at its mission, balanced scorecard, ethics and CSR, critical success factors, stakeholder analysis, as well as conducting a PESTLE, Porter's 5 Forces, a value chain, and a SWOT analysis. Now, there's no point thinking about the future, okay, how we get from the present to the future, without thinking about how we actually go about performing that transition. And so that's where the business strategy comes in. That's the point of this model. You consider your future, you consider your present, and then the business strategy in between to get there. So that's where we'll be going through a generic strategy, Ansos matrix, methods of growth, and then we'll finalize the video by going through a definition of the business strategy as it currently stands. So with that said then, we're going to start with the future, where the organization is heading, and we're going to start by looking at the company's mission, vision, and values. So what we've got here are 4 aspects of the mission that need to be considered. What's the purpose of the organization? Why does it exist? Who does it exist for? How will it compete? What does it stand for? What are its policies? And while none of these are particularly explicit, there are some that are in the pre-scene, we can infer them. So what's the purpose of Happy Playz? Well, it's to sell toys to customers, crucially, isn't it? Looking to buy something for themselves or as a gift. So in order to fulfill that purpose, it needs to actually have toys on sale that are desirable to its target audience. Then as for strategy, well, a strategy is by having such a large selection of toys and selling them at competitive prices that they are essentially a one-stop shop when it comes to the purchase of toys. Where it concerns the values of the business, well, all stores must deliver high-quality service to customers. High-quality service to customers. I got my words twisted there. Because at the end of the day, what is a toy shop if you can't go in there and seek assistance to find that perfect toy for either your child or your significant other? The point is that we need to know from the pre-scene, customer service plays a really important role in the business, and it would make sense that based on the model itself, remember the business model, part of how it's able to generate its value is by having high quality customer service staff. Capturing residual value is all about reinvesting back into the business to provide training. Then as for policies, well, that's what I just said. Point is to make sure that staff are adequately trained and that goods are purchased at the best prices. So mission is fairly straightforward. That just gives us a good sort of starting point for where we need to be, where it concerns the mission of the business, where it wants to go. So really while we don't have a goal for the business, we haven't been told that it wants to be the largest toy retailer in Wisteria. If it wants to continue down this path of providing the highest selection of toys at the best prices with the best customer service staff, well, that's what it needs to continue trying to achieve or keep striving towards achieving into the future. So what can we do to measure that performance? Because that's where the balanced scorecard comes in. It's one thing to outline the mission, but you need to know what things you need to measure to know whether you're on track or not. And that's where the balanced scorecard comes in. It measures 4 different quadrants, 1 financial area and 3 non-financial areas. And the point is this gives, as the name suggests, a balance perspective to the business. So for our financial perspective, we have profit, return on investment, cash flow, gearing. These are just some token financial metrics that we could discuss, but ones that are nonetheless important among others for the business. So obviously, is the business profitable? We saw from financial statements that it is. What's the return on investment? So for example, if it acquires a new store, maybe not acquires, but rather purchases to release a new store, what's the return on investment in that store? Is it generating the returns that you'd expect from its location? What's the cash flow of the business? Really important, given that it's a retailer and it needs a constant supply of toys from its manufacturers, and the manufacturers will obviously expect the payment for those toys to be due on time. So it's important that the cash flows are managed and known. Gearing is crucial. We saw that the gearing ratio is particularly high for this pre-seen company, and one that could be a concern if the business wants to make any kind of large investment, because its debt capacity is probably quite strained, at least if we use Gleetil as our comparison. As for the learning perspective, the number of high quality recruits, we know from the pre-seen when we looked at the human resources that the recruitment process looks for whether or not a candidate can explain what their favorite toy is and why. So the idea is that you go through, well, of the candidates we've recently hired, are they high quality? How do we measure that as well? Data and information collection is also another important aspect. You know, what is the business learning from its customers? What their retail habits are like? How is it trying to adapt to changing demands? And then hours spent training is a big one, particularly for customer service. The business needs to know how much time it's spending training staff, given that it sees it as a part of capturing residual value. Because if it's not spending enough time training, then it needs to try and rectify that. From an internal perspective, this is all about trying to be more efficient as a business from its internal processes. So you've got to think about buying and purchasing decisions. Maybe there's the prospect of introducing some sort of business intelligence system to automatically procure items at the best prices or locate items at the best prices from different manufacturers, depending on the information that is put into it. We could also look at how many toys are disposed or sold at a discount as a means of establishing how effective the buying and purchasing team is, or buying team rather, is at identifying toys that will sell well enough that they don't need to be disposed of or sold at a discount, because if they are, then it shows that that toy was, unless it was just really popular and now we're just getting rid of the last bits of stock, or it's like a holiday season, toy disposals are seen as essentially like, well, we failed to sell that product. We failed to make any money off of it. Why? And then the customer perspective, really important for a retailer, practically its backbone. We need to know how many new customers the retailer is seeing, what its satisfaction scores are. If customers aren't satisfied, why? What's its market share in different areas? You know, is it selling a lot of toys when it comes to plushies, but it's not selling very much when it comes to action figures? What are its different market shares when it comes to its different products? And how does that compare then to its competitors as well? And then the brand awareness of Happy Playz is a big one. How familiar are people with Happy Playz? Do they know who they are? Do they trust them as a brand? All of these together can provide a balanced approach to understanding where the business currently stands, or sorry, where it wants to be, because it needs to fulfill these metrics really if it wants to continue towards trying to achieve its mission.
Now, while I've got your attention at the end of this video, I'd like to make you aware of the other products that Astranti sell as part of the case study course. So the first of these is a series of study text and tuition videos, and these come in 2 flavors. You have our written study text if you prefer learning through reading, or you can watch our videos if you're more of a visual learner. Now to start with, we have an exam technique study series, which breaks down how to succeed at various case study levels. We'll be looking at exam technique, writing style, and planning that you need to nail to be successful in your case study exams. And to accompany this, we also have a revision series dedicated to the theory side of things. This is because at the case study level, there is a large amount of theory you need to be capable of using in your case study exam. So what we've done here is we've taken the key areas of the theory from the 3 case study levels and condensed them into a series of chapters to help focus your revision. Moving away from the more generic products and onto the products that are specific to the case study pre-scene, the first of these is the pre-scene analysis video series. First and foremost, this contains a series of videos where we break down the relevant pre-scene at the appropriate level of the qualification, page by page. And throughout this video, we bring out all the key points that could be relevant for you in your exam, looking at various topics and things you might need to consider when revising for the case study. And then to supplement the pre-scene analysis, we also have 2 videos. We have the strategic analysis where we give a broad overview of what kind of strategy the pre-scene company is using and where it might be going in the future. And then we also look at the top 10 issues that we think this pre-scene company might be subject to and something that you may need to take into consideration when revising for the case study. We then provide an industry analysis document and accompanying video. CIMA like to see you demonstrate wider industry knowledge in your exam, and this is what this industry analysis does, as it gives you the wider industry knowledge you need in order to fulfill this requirement. Essentially what it is, it's a large document that we've compiled on all the relevant industry information that we have gathered so that you don't have to do the revision yourself. And then to accompany this, we of course have a video that goes over this document to pick out some of the key points for you if you'd prefer that. We also produce a number of mock exams for every sitting. We write 5 mock exams for the first exam sitting, and then we add 2 more supplementary mocks for the second exam sitting. We design these mocks around the specific issues relevant to the pre-scene and make them as close to the real thing as you will see in the case study exam as possible. So these are a great way to practice your exam technique and test your knowledge of the pre-scene company under timed conditions. And then to add value to this product, we also offer a marking and feedback service. So we have a range of highly skilled finance professionals working as freelance staff for us, and it is these staff that provide the marking and feedback service. So this is a great service to use in conjunction with our mock exams, as it gives you a great idea of how you're progressing in the areas you need to work on for your case study exam. And then if you're in need of extra exam practice, we also provide a more generic question pack product. So obviously there are only so many questions you could write about on a specific pre-scene. So what this question pack is a series of generic questions on generic scenarios that we come up with at Astranti, whereby we look to test specific topics that come up regularly in the case study exam. So if there is a particular topic you are struggling with and we've only tested once in our mocks, and you'd like more practice on it, then these question packs will be a great product for you to turn to. The penultimate product on this list is a product for those of you who would like to get a full overriding picture in terms of your revision all at once, and these are our masterclasses. So these are our expert tutors who hold 2 masterclasses every exam sitting, and these essentially cover all key aspects that you're going to need to know for your relevant exams. So from particular theories to analyses of the pre-scene, all the way through to tips and tricks you can use in your exam. And finally, such is the confidence we have in the quality of our product that if you do purchase a full course from us and you unfortunately do not pass your exam using our product, then we will offer what we call a pass guarantee. So if you did not pass your exam after purchasing our full course, then you will receive the materials for the next exam sitting free of charge. Okay, thank you very much for listening to that. I hope you find our products useful, and of course I would like to wish you the best of luck in your exam from everyone at Astranti.
And if you enjoyed that video and would like to see more from us, be sure to like and subscribe, and consider following us on social media like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, or go to our website linked in the description.